Guardian, we'll just go straight into it. So, obviously, we've been talking about the movie itself and just having a bit of a casual talk, unscripted, I guess. But you were wanting to maybe get into some of the other stuff, like the game, the prequel.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's got a lot of stuff around it, but the other stuff just never really. Well, in some ways, it's not surprising that given how good the first one is, none of the follow-up stuff has come even close.
Yeah, they were talking about a short series, I think, for the Sci-Fi Channel. This was like back when it was like the Sci-Fi Channel. From memory, it was a long time ago.
I mean, it
Nothing.
makes sense because they did stuff like the Tremors series as well that kind of also died.
Yeah. Um, Obviously, there was the game, the PS2 game, which I actually own as well, and I think I played it like twice, and I was not very good at it. But the game itself isn't very good. So
Yeah, didn't you actually manage to shoot one of your own guys at one point? Both like, right,
yeah,
be very careful.
yeah, yeah. I accidentally shot one of my own team, and he started spazzing out, and Buff was just there. It just goes, "Be very careful." Yeah, I'm not very good at computer games. I don't even know why I kept this, to be honest. But Spoony did a really good review of it, didn't he?
Hmm.
I think he called
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of one of those things where like, oh yep, somebody shows up at the end, like, okay, McCready's not fucking alive. Like, there's no way. We all love
Yeah,
McCready, but there's no way he's still alive at the end of the thing.
yeah, but
He
he
like
didn't
shows
speak.
up at the end of the game to like save the character. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but there was a comic series. I mean, I think there's been a few spin-off comics, but there was like a really, wasn't it the Thing from Another World? I think it was called this spin-off
Yeah,
comics, and McCready
there's
was alive now.
kind of when you were saying about the original short story of Who Goes There, that's also been done as a comic as well. Although unfortunately, the thing in its like alien form just looks like a green, googly-eyed freak with like weird
Yeah.
white hairs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've seen it actually. Yeah, that rings a bell.
Mm.
Uh, so it was that.
What's his name? Linkara reviewed all the Thing kind of comics. But yeah, they did continue them in comic form. And again, it's like, yep, McCready and Childs are still alive. It's like, no,
Yeah,
like they can't be. Like seriously, there was no surviving like in that film.
yeah. Yeah, it kind of takes away from the end of the film as well, really, because John Carpenter called this. I think it was part one of his Apocalypse trilogy, wasn't it? Because there was this, then there was Prince of Darkness, and then there was one that we've been asked to review actually earlier on. Adam Earnshaw, who's going to be watching this, asked if we could do a review of In the Mouth of Madness because we're talking about. Well, I was talking about Lovecraft stuff. That's a '90s film, so maybe next year we could do '90s next year, possibly.
Yeah,
Um,
in the
that
mouth of the
was.
both. Kind of when he had his mouth open near Topher.
Yeah,
Both
are
will
you
never
still?
learn.
I hope you've got this Topher joke saved for the end of the video. It's tradition. We've got to do that.
Yes.
But yeah,
Well, you
save
know,
that
there
for
is
the end.
that famous scene in the film where we come running in on Buff, and it's like, Buff, Topher wants a jostle. And Buff's like, Topher wants a what? Like, you heard me, Buff, now go.
Is that the one that you've been saving, or is
No,
that?
no, no, no. No, we've got another one.
Yeah, save it for the end. It's tradition. But yeah, collectible stuff. McFarlane Toys did some good, like the figures, but they don't. Kids won't play with them. You'd put them on a shelf. And I've done a review of those on the channel. If anyone watching this is interested, look on the playlist section on this channel because there's a collection of videos. Some of them are mine. Obviously, this will be in there. I did do a review of the McFarlane toys a few years ago. I don't know if you can see them. They're on my shelf. You won't probably be able to see them from there. But I
Yeah.
also did a review of yeah, I did a review of these like miniature figurines. They were like Warhammer style, like really tiny, by eBob, which still exists. And I think I got these around about 2004. They're quite widely sought after. I think last time I saw people were like trying to haggle for like buying them off other people that own them. But yeah, there's a video about that on the channel as well. Playlist section.
And of course, there is the sequel stroke, prequel stroke, named exactly the same as the first fucking film.
Yeah, I don't mind it as a film. It's not great. They made some bad decisions with the CGI, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, when occasionally it looks like, okay, was this like a badly rendered cutscene from the PlayStation? What the fuck's going on here?
Well, that thing, all puns aside, at the end where it's like a blocky thing. We're talking about the 2011 film in case anyone's
Yeah,
losing talking about it. There's like a really sort of weird sort of Minecraft like blocky thing, isn't there? That was a last minute thing that they put in because there was actually something built there, like whatever it was, you got to see it in its kind of pure form, I think. And because they decided not to go there with the rest of the film, showing you that would have been like a bit weird. So what they did was they just kind of like put this really blotchy weird thing where there's loads of like cubes, like Tetris kind of things moving. It doesn't make any sense. And she's looking at it. The thing that she's actually looking at, you don't get to see because it's obviously covered
yeah, because
over.
it's one of those things where I've actually seen like production stills of like they had like practical effects going. They just went, no, we'll go with CGI. CGI is better. It wasn't.
No, it's a real shame. Again, there's some good videos. I think I might be wrong, but I'm thinking Rossatron on YouTube has done some videos about this. It might be in the play. I think it's in my playlist section if you check that out. It's all
Yeah,
very
we go
interesting.
back to the Swedish camp.
Yeah, the Norwegian Mac. Yeah, 'cause they go there, and there's some bits that they tried to connect to the '82 film, like the axe that they find with blood on it that's like embedded into the wall.
Yeah, they have to kind of stop and like, no, don't touch it. It could be infected. Wink at the camera. It's like,
Yeah,
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 leave it there because it's in the other film. Have
yeah.
you not got that hint? Oh, fuck's sakes.
And there's the bit, it's a deleted scene, but there's a bit where the guy who cuts his wrist and cuts his throat, you get to see him do that in the delete. They should have kept that in, to be fair, because it were another sort of bit that were connected. It's a bit nasty, but then again, I guess you see it in the original. So
And also,
uh,
like, where there's a guy trying to hold another guy away, and it kind of like comes down and like starts melting onto his face, and that's where you get the weird
that
kind of
was
split
Topher and Buff,
face
wasn't it?
thing from.
That was Topher and Buff, wasn't it? Oh no,
Mm.
yeah, I know what you mean. So I got confused.
But yeah, certainly
Yeah,
one thing about the thing that's better than the thing, because that's not confusing at all. No, the original is definitely better than the sequel prequel thing.
oh
Like in
yeah,
the original, like the thing is intelligent. It's what kind of works for it.
yeah.
Like it
I know where you
doesn't
go.
just like freak out and attack for no reason. Like there are
Yeah,
times it's like, okay, it's on the helicopter, it's getting exactly what it wants. Why the fuck is it suddenly turned into a bag of special effects and attacked everybody? There's no reason for it to do that. And now the
yeah.
helicopter's crashed and it's fucked. It's like, what the fuck?
The way I kind of do a bit of mental gymnastics with it, and it is a stretch, I just basically think, well, it's just encountering everybody. It's still kind of getting its grip on everything. And the bit where the guy splits open, maybe that's just, it's still maybe getting used to humans at that point. And
Yeah.
uh,
I must admit that's kind of where my head canon would go as well, but
yeah, but it's still
yeah.
dumb.
Like I say, the
And it,
first one, like the thing doesn't just like freak out for no reason and start attacking. Like even where it's like chest breaks open and it bites somebody, it's more to do with like you could say, oh well, the electricity like from trying to start its heart is like hurting it. That's why it attacks. It doesn't just attack for
yeah,
no reason.
and the bit where what was his name, Palmer, where he's tied up and they realise he's a thing because they've got the blood test and it goes like that. He freaks out because he's been rumbled, and at that point he's got no choice but to start spazzing out. Whereas in the 2011 one, it just does it like loads of points in the film, just like where it could easily have still kind of stayed undercover at that point.
Yeah, like where it comes like bursting out of the ice at the start. It's like, well, great job announcing to everybody that you're an alien monster. Well done.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but again, you could say it's only just kind of getting its bearing. It hasn't had time to kind of like adapt, and then maybe after that event, that's at which point it's kind of adapted.
Yeah, just spending time as a husky apparently really upped its IQ while it was being
Yeah,
chased across the ice. It learned a
yeah,
lot during that run. Let's just put it that way.
yeah. You could say maybe it did get something from the dog, some kind of primordial like instinct that well, that would make sense because then they would have it from humans as well. Anyway, this is what I mean about the film. You could just talk about this, all the theories and stuff, all there. So I said we didn't need to.
The thing links into the thing at the end because you see the like dog running away from the camp and two of them like hopping in a chopper to chase it.
Yeah, I did appreciate that because they did obviously do a lot to not just completely screw with the fan base. They thought, if we're doing this as a prequel, let's do a proper job of it and show like the original footage where the helicopter's going, and it plays the music as well from the thing.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, when it comes to the thing, the 2011 was it?
Yeah.
I don't hate it because it's like, yeah, it did the Icarus thing. It flew too close to the sun. I appreciate its effort, but it didn't stick the landing. Whereas some of them, like Highlander the Source, it's like, were you trying to just make a bag of shit here? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. This
is
like
this one. It's like it tried, and given all the trouble it had, I can kind of see how it fucked up.
Yeah, it's like I say, generally I watch the thing about like once a year, and usually I will watch it back to back with the 2011 one, and it's not too bad because ultimately starting with I'll watch it in a sequential order, so I'll watch 2011 one first. So ultimately you're ending it on a good film. It would be different if it was like the Alien movies where it just kind of goes downhill and it ends with like Alien Resurrection and then the AVPs. It's just like you get to a point, it's just like I just don't want to watch those films. I'll just watch like the good ones. But at least if you can kind of do it in a bad, you could kind of do that with like Star Wars movies when it was the original six as well. You could just watch the prequels, which are a bit crap, and then watch like the other ones. But then you burn out after having watched the prequels, don't you? So yeah, they didn't do a terrible job of it. We've seen worse. What else was there? Obviously, not really much else.
Like I said, the comics continued for quite a while, also following the kind of tradition of the comic would end with like MacReady and some like, yep, there's no way he can survive this. He's freezing to death on a piece of ice in the middle of the ocean. No way he's going to survive. The next comic like series comes up, and he's survived. It's like, what the fuck? Is this guy just like Deadpool or something? Can he not fucking die?
Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, well, other aspects of the film as well. Obviously, we've got to mention the practical effects in the original film, the '82 film. Those were done like in such a way that it was you don't really know what you're looking at, so it's difficult to say that something's looks fake because the nature of it is this. It's not like Shark, for example, in Jaws. You basically got something that it is what it is. It's a big slimy thing, so that's the actual physical thing that they built. And obviously there were quite a few stories that they had on set, like where they accidentally set the thing on fire because I think what they've made it out of had created a lot of fumes basically. And when they had this like bar with flames, it was kind of supposed to be shown in front of the screen to make it like everything was on fire. Boom, just went up because of all the fumes. So what was the name of the guy? I can't remember the name of the guy that did the special effects for this.
You're asking the name, forgetting motherfucker.
Exactly, yeah. But,
I think if I actually knew the guy's name, that would be a sign that I am actually the fucking thing, because there's no way I'm going to remember it.
That was the trick. I always forget his name, but he was somebody who had put a lot of time into this, and I think he ended up having to take time off for exhaustion or something because he was just working around the clock because the amount of visual special. Rob Bottin, that's it. Rob Bottin or Bottin. The amount of work that he had to put into this, it was a real labour of love for him as well. And that was why it's really a shame that it was really poorly received when it came out because it deserved so much more. But I think John Carpenter himself was pretty mortified and it put him off working with studios again. I know he did Starman a few years later as a kind of way of atoning for it, I guess, because I guess everybody was telling him that his film was nihilistic, and the idea was a bit of outrage about it as well. So he did Starman to maybe try to win a few like points back with the Hollywood system. The next big studio movie that he did from memory was Big Trouble in Little China with 20th Century Fox, and that flopped as well, unfortunately, which is mental because again, it's like a very well loved film. That win.
Yeah, certainly on the note of special effects, when you compare like the original and the sequel prequel, you can kind of see the difference between like the practical effects and the kind of CGI effects. Like it's true, the stuff you can do with CGI you could not do with practical. Like they're a lot more mobile, they're a lot more like ambulatory. You can have like stuff like flailing around much more and like stuff moving around a lot. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you've got a lot more range of movement out of it, but it looks crap. Like even at the time when those were like decent effects, they looked crap. Like even when you've got pretty good special effects, if all you've got are special effects, it still kind of takes you out of it and looks a bit crap. Like it's only recently that you've started to get to the point where you can kind of get away with it, and then only in like really big budget things where they've got like a ridiculous fee for it.
Yeah, I know as well because, like I say, he ended up Rob Bottin ended up having to sort of bow out for a little bit, and I think Stan Winston got involved as well. I think he got involved with some of the dog stuff. When the dogs are all getting like mangled. I think that was some of Stan Winston's work. He did like Terminator and stuff. Quite a lot of the actors on this film have passed away in recent years as well. Wilfred Brimley passed away. Richard Dysart, who played the Doctor, who gets his hands cut off when he puts his hands inside the guy. The guy that played Norris, the one whose chest rips up, he died in like 97, so he's been gone quite a while. But yeah, quite a few of them. But there's not that many people in this film. So I think we'll have to wrap it up anyway. Before you do a Topher reference, we're going to do another video tonight, aren't we? We said this was going to be like a 6-part. Well, I guess we've done 7 videos because the thing was our 6th night. We've split it into 2. But we'll do another video. We're going to do another bonus video tonight for Halloween night.
Just because we love you guys.
Yeah, especially you, Paul Cage.
Just talking actually about love you. Don't get too excited, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll come back to that in a second about Paul, but yeah, we're going to talk about like 80s movies just in general because it's like such a broad subject. We said we were going to talk about it. We've really only talked about 6 movies. It
is the 80s, so word to you both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You were forgetting again, weren't you? You forgetful motherfucker.
Yeah. Word to you both. But no, Paul also was being a bit rude this morning because he said he likes the videos and he said, "Keep me coming." It's like, damn it,
Paul. We like you as a friend, man. We don't think of you in that way. Think of Lucy, okay?
What is it with Paul? And I think he meant but instead of me. But yeah, so that's the thing. Any quotes? Any iconic quotes from?
You just got to remember when you're dealing with a thing. Even a cell gets out and it will jizz over everything on the face of the book, and nothing can stop it.
That's reminding me. Actually, it's funny you should mention that as well because that's the bit where Blair is going mental, isn't he? He used to have a cat gun.
Easy, Blair. You don't hurt him. He's like, "I'll kill you all." It's like, I think he does want to hurt you.
Yes, he's like kicking off about Topher jizzing in Bus face. No, I remember I used to have a cap gun when I was a kid, and I used to start like shooting off, going, "Nobody's getting out of here! Nobody!" Bang, bang. And my mother was like going mental. Was like, "What the hell?" Fucking hell, Joseph! No fucking respect. So every time I watch that film, I just remember like firing the cap gun off. But yeah, anyway. So right, we'll wrap this up because yeah, it's quite a long video now. So, but we'll be back. We'll upload it shortly after this video has gone up. So we'll say like these videos went up at 7. We'll say 7:30. So by the time you've watched this, it should already be up anyway. We're going to be talking about just 80s films, just in general, and So yeah, right. Well, signing off then. Anything else from the
Nope,
core?
that's me. I'm done.
Cool. Right. Speak to you later.
Right then, just a quick reminder that you can follow us on social media. Obviously the channel exists on YouTube, we've been going strong since 2013, but we also have presence on Facebook as well, where we occasionally post updates and news on there. We also have Instagram, we don't really use it quite as much, but you can always follow us there if you're desperate. But beyond that, Brandex reviews, news reviews and retrospectives coming out of the UK.